I know. The candy was so good. Of all the market centers, Southside has all the freshest candy.
Candy. Yeah, I never eat bagels, candy, or Coke, and I did all three today.
Oh.
It's a big day.
And I'll just see who decides to show up. Oh, cool. Share my screen. All right, we got somebody coming in on Zoom.
Yeah, I found with Zoom though, it'll be like it'll freeze and kind of buffer or something. I'm like, what are they saying? Oh my God, I can't what they're saying.
Oh, here comes another one. We got Paul, we got Tammy. This is exciting. Yeah, no, I record like all my classes. And so sometimes what agents will do, I work with the agent services from each of the market centers to create the universal, Keller Williams Atlantic Partners YouTube channel. So that way, whenever recorded classes or not just my classes, but any classes from any market center, each market center has their own playlist. They all get uploaded by the agent services.
Where do we
and it's all
find
in
it?
one place.
Where is it?
It's gonna be on the agent hub that we just
Okay.
revamped last month.
Okay.
But the agent hub has all your resources and tools all in one place. It's even got your luxury items all in one place, but the KWAP YouTube channel is on there. It's listed as one of the blocks. All you have to do is just click on
Click
it.
on it.
And you should be set. All right, what time is it? 2 more minutes and I'm gonna start right on time. Let me share my screen. Come on in.
I'm just gonna send it back, I'm just gonna get a fly on the wall.
You're fine. It's all good. We got another one coming in. Caleb, do you give any like awards out for like who attended the most amount of trainings for the month?
Not currently, it's something that we might implement, I can definitely make a note and bring it up in our leadership meeting.
No, you're good.
But it's not something that we do currently, but we've talked about it as an incentive.
Gotcha. I just wasn't sure if we needed to take attendance or not.
Not today, no.
Okay. Cool.
Are we doing the award thing this year?
Yes, it'll be, I believe the first week of March. I'm not sure on the date, but it's the beginning of March, because we have to wait for like all the numbers to like be posted.
What's the breakdown on like bronze, silver, gold? You know?
It's based on volume, but I don't know like
Do
what.
you know what the breakdown of the volume is?
Mhm. Once we start like looking more like putting the actual event together, then I'll have a better answer for you, but just off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
All right, it is 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to my class today. It is about tracking your activity through command. This class is actually going to be beneficial for both agents who are on a team and then also agents who are operating as a solo agent. When I last presented this in early December, it was just available for teams only, but they just recently released the feature where now solo agents are able to do it as well. So as I take you through the class and I take you through each of the steps to get you set up, and I show you everything about activity tracking, how to understand the numbers, I will go through how it's going to be beneficial for both teams and then also for solo agents. How is everybody doing on Zoom?
Got it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I also just wanted to make sure I could hear you all too. As I go through the class, if you have any questions at all, feel free to just ask as we go along. If you want to follow along on your laptop, you're more than welcome to get the hands-on experience. But if you just want to sit and take notes too, that's fine by me. whatever you feel most comfortable with. So we're gonna get right into it. I actually have two screens open. Just for the sake of time, I'm not sure how long it's going to take us to get through each feature of getting everything set up, but I'm just gonna walk you through it step by step, exactly how you're going to get this done. Activity tracking usually helps teams monitor the progress of their team members, whereas as a solo agent, it really helps with accountability. And it also helps with accountability for teams as well, but for solo agents specifically, just the accountability for yourself, it will help you keep on track with all the things that you need to be doing for your business. So once everybody gets logged into Command, for those of you that are following in with your laptops, what I'm gonna do first is you're gonna be taken to the welcome page, of course, that's agent.kw.com. And at the very top right-hand corner, you're going to want to click on your name. From your name, you're going to want to click on settings, located right here. And it's going to open up into all your applications, your integrations. Once you see this page, you're going to want to click on the left-hand side, Command Settings. And then you're going to want to scroll down to Reporting. Once you click on reporting, you're going to see one option located there, which is activity tracking. And feel free to go ahead and click on it. Once you click on activity tracking, at the very top right-hand corner, the first thing that you're going to have to do is enable activity tracking. So you're going to want to make sure that toggle, if it's grayed out, you're going to want to switch it to a green light.
Hold on just a minute. If
Revolving circle. Are you on Safari or Chrome?
Safari.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Sure, here's the service setup. Everything goes.
And
I'm gonna try to follow Vincent. Okay, thanks.
also too, like if it does work best in the Chrome browser, if that does help, if you run into any issues at all. And then of course, any questions, just let me know.
So does this mean I'm not gonna be able to move forward
It does,
unless I move over to Chrome?
correct. It does act a little bit funny on Safari.
Alright, let me see if I can get switched over.
Yeah. Eventually, like it will load, but it just might be more time consuming.
Okay.
So what you see in front of you, oh, let me just add one more person in here. Team reminder settings. So I'm going to be using this example as if I'm functioning on a team. The rainmaker of the team will be able to add in these settings. And if you're a solo agent in the same spot, you'll be able to add in your personal settings. So the rainmaker of a team, if you're functioning as a team, they'll be able to create these reminder settings. And what a reminder setting is, it's really going to be an email that gets sent out to either your team members, or if you're the solo agent, it's going to be an email that gets sent to yourself. In addition to either just the email, you also have access to the email from your Command homepage, which I'll show you in just a little bit. You could set up reminders for your team to submit their activity. So if you send a daily reminder, you're going to have the option to select whatever time throughout the day this email is going to go out to the team members to fill out in order to track their activity. We'll go through what the email looks like, all the information that's a part of the email. But the first thing is that we're going to want to make sure that you get set up first. From the team reminder settings, once you send that daily reminder at a specific time, so it really could be any time depending on how your team functions. So if you are a team that works 9 to 5, then maybe sending the email out at 2 p.m. just to remind them like, hey, you know, towards the end of the day, don't forget to submit your activity, which is going to lead us into the activity should be submitted by a specific date. So if the team works from 9 to 5, then the activity should be submitted by maybe like 5:30ish, maybe 6ish, depending on how much leeway you want to give them. So if you're operating as a solo agent, or if you're operating as a team and you don't submit your activity by this time that is selected here, it will send you, depending on what you put in these settings, X amount of reminders after the due time. So if you're a team that works 9 to 5, you say that the activity should be submitted by 6 p.m. They don't submit it by 6 p.m. Whatever number you have listed here will be the amount of reminders that get sent after that 6 o'clock p.m. time in order for them to remind them again to submit their activity. Any questions so far? Awesome. The next section is going to be called work days. So this is really going to be your team members will receive reminders on scheduled work days. Let me just mute somebody here real quick. Perfect. So team members will receive reminders on scheduled work days. And if you're a team that functions where you work maybe Monday through Friday, that's going to be whatever it is that your team is functioning on. If you're a solo agent, whatever your specific work days are, you're going to be able to edit those here under edit work days. So maybe as a team, you're probably all together working together 7 days a week. So you can just check off all the days that you'd be working and then just apply the changes that you see best fits. You also have the ability to schedule out any specific holidays for the team. So you have like your usual holidays, you got Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, all that good stuff. But if you have like team specific holidays, like maybe you do a specific event as a team together where you don't work, maybe you do some team building exercise that you're not going to be expecting your team members to be filling out this activity report for. You'll be able to select those days, those specific days based on this calendar that you see here, and then just select all the days that need to be applied. You'll see that a dark green color is applied to all the days that you select, and it is added to your holidays. And your newly added holidays will be located at the top. So in case you just had to delete them, maybe you clicked on a box that you weren't supposed to, you could easily just delete it, or you can just click on the box and unselect it. Once you have your holidays in place, what you're going to have to do, especially if you're on a team, if you're just a solo agent, really, you're pretty much good. You get to set your own schedule, but the Rainmaker will be able to set the team member settings. So on your team, you're going to see every single team member that is a part of the team. And you as a Rainmaker, and the Rainmaker is pretty much the leader of the team, they'll be able to select which team members are supposed to be submitting activity tracking. And again, it really comes down to just making sure that the toggle button is highlighted green from the left side to the right side. And if there, for some reason, maybe a specific team member is not supposed to be submitting their activity, maybe they're an admin and they have their own account login, maybe they're a transaction coordinator that you gave access to, then more often than not, they're probably not going to be tracking their activity. This is really more specifically geared towards the agents. Next to each team member that is going to have to submit their activity tracking, you're going to be able to also put in their days that that team member is specifically working. So not only do you have your team holidays that are blocked out, but according to each specific team member, you can select which days of the week that they're going to have to fill in that activity report for. So maybe some members of the team are working different days than other team members. Maybe it just works compatible with their schedule. You know, we are flexible, God family business. So it really is dependent upon how your team is functioning and the rules of the team. When you want your team members to work, you can select that all through here. On the right-hand side, you're going to see that last column that says days off. So you get to, as a Rainmaker, schedule the days off for the specific members on your team. So let's just say you have a team member that's going on vacation soon, or maybe you had a team member that has something coming up. Maybe it's going to be, you know, their kid's graduation or something family related, and you know in advance that they're not supposed to be working that day. So you can just click on manage days off. And for that specific team member, you'll be able to select the days where they are not supposed to be submitting their activity tracking. So that way it doesn't affect their numbers because they weren't able to work that day. You're gonna apply the changes to all that you see apply. And this is going to be the first part of activity tracking. This is gonna be you setting up your settings specifically either for your team or for yourself as a solo agent. Does anyone have any questions so far? Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to show you that email, which is what the reminder setting is, for the one that in which the team member is going to have to fill out the email for in order to get credit for the day. And as a solo agent, the same thing applies. You're pretty much gonna hold yourself accountable by filling out that activity tracker so that way you can keep track of your numbers. So what I'm gonna do now is in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to click on the home button. And I'm gonna take myself. You're gonna wanna save the changes, especially if you made any changes. I'm just using it as an example, so I'm just gonna get out of it. But on the home page, there's gonna be two places where an agent is gonna be able to fill out the reminder settings or the email that they need to submit for activity tracking. One option is that it will go to the email of the agent, and the subject will say, start your day out fresh, and it'll have a bunch of questions. Or if you just wanna go to your homepage, mine, I have located all the way down here at the bottom. It's gonna say team activity, or leaderboard. And then it's gonna give me an option here that says activity tracking report for Vincent. If you are the Rainmaker, you're gonna be able to see the tracking report for each of your team members that they submitted for the day. And then it gives the agent themselves the option to submit your activity for the day with the submit button.
Hold on, go back, where, you're on the homepage.
That is correct.
My homepage looks very different.
Okay, so.
Okay, wait, database held,
Mhm. So you're gonna notice in the top right-hand corner, it's gonna say customized homepage. So you might just have the widgets in like different spaces than I do.
okay,
Some team member or Rainmakers will have their teams put the activity tracking all the way towards the top of their page, because it kind of just like helps with accountability, makes it harder to miss. But the way that I have mine, I have like tasks, designs, goals, product updates, database health, notepad, new leads,
it.
and then activity at the bottom.
Got it.
But you're more than welcome to customize it as you wish. So I'm gonna take you through.
Now, as a single agent, we don't have that team activity leaderboard.
Yeah, you're not gonna see the leaderboard. The leaderboard is just a team function, but what you should see is activity report. So if I switch over into my personal account as a solo agent, you're gonna see it just saying my activity. Is it not showing up for you?
I just see goals, database health, and recently.
And you turn within the settings, you put on the toggle, the green light.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, Liv, if you could just take a look at that real quick, and then maybe just like refresh. Because once you have the green light toggled across, under customize home, you should be able to see the option to add activity tracking right here.
Can you scroll?
Do you see it in the customize home?
It's not there, it's not in the like widgets.
And just double check to see if,
Yeah, recent lead is the last one I have in mind.
Yeah.
I know that you just turned on the green toggle. Let's just make sure it's saved first, and if it did, you'll see it right here under customize home that you're gonna have to
I don't,
click the checkbox.
I don't have activity tracking in there, is that what they're saying?
Actually, let me, just so that we're all on the same, we're all there together. I'll take care of you. No, definitely not. Go back in the settings.
Yeah, didn't you save it?
You said it now, let's go back. It just probably, that would be like definitely a laptop thing where we could just,
Yeah, it was on, like, then I say, I didn't.
Yeah. It's not good.
oh, yes, he did.
Oh, but it was green when I left
Mhm.
and I.
You gotta
Save
submit
change.
the save change,
Okay,
Say a change.
all
and
right.
go back home, and it should actually auto-populate at the very bottom.
Beautiful.
Okay.
There it is. My
I
answer.
got it, all right. Sorry.
You're all
But it was green before when I opened it up, so I don't know why.
No, you're fine. It's just, it could be a little bit tricky though, because like when you get out of it, like it does ask you like a second, type of question that says like, if you just want to like save the changes, sometimes, it gets bypassed or like you missed that, and then it just goes to the next page or whatever app that you're going into next, and then it just doesn't save. It's okay. This is why we're all here today, is to learn about all of this and to practice. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me go back into my team account. Or if you're operating as a solo agent, you're going to see submit your activity for today with the blue-green submit button. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on that submit button. And what you're going to see is the complete email. This is exactly what the email will look like. And we'll go through each section of this email together. So it's gonna say, hello, it's gonna have your name, tell us about your day. This information will be shared with your team if you're on a team, and available in Command. So it's gonna ask you, what is the day you want to submit your activity for? And you're gonna put today's date, of course, or the day that you're submitting it. You do have the ability, like if for some reason you did forget to submit your activity, even after all the reminders, you know, it said you had to submit it by 6 p.m. and you still didn't do it, and it sent you 5 more reminders and you still didn't do it. There is an option where you can go back into this and you can select at least a week prior to of the days that you miss. Anything past a week, it's probably just it's gonna X you out of that. So you do have the option to go back and fill in for a previous day. It will ask you, how was it? And did you have a good day? So
What
we're gonna,
constitutes a good day?
I know.
Cooking chocolate today.
That's a great day. No, whatever you probably, so it's definitely gonna come down to not just like your mood or like how you felt like the conversations went, but really like what your numbers are actually like. So let's just say that you procrastinated and you got distracted and you spend 2 hours of your lead gen time going grocery shopping or something. And you could be lead generating at the grocery store, but did you really feel that productive today? So it's pretty much gonna be up to the team member, because all the answers that you put in here are good. It's gonna go to the Rainmaker, and you know, if you have like one bad day, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be unsuccessful at everything that you do, or you're never gonna meet your goals. Even as a solo agent too, it's gonna let you know, it really helps like where you can improve or like what you need to work harder on. And it really shows as a good coaching opportunity for a team or for a Rainmaker to have with a member of a team based on the numbers that they're submitting. So how much time did you spend finding? Ooh, I feel like we may have a question. Oh, Margot's trying to come on in. Let her in. How much time did you spend finding new clients today? So if you are on a team or you have a commitment to yourself about how many hours throughout the day that you're going to work, especially if you are scheduled to be working on a specific day. Usually I'm not in real estate, I know you're working like around the clock, but for this example, I'm probably just gonna put 8 hours. How many people did you talk to today? So if I just go back and I think about all the conversations that I had or the phone calls that I've had, maybe within those 8 hours of just, you know, lead generating or working, maybe I talked to 15 people. And then what did I do to find them, or what did you do to find them? They give you a couple of different options. So was it SOI outreach? Was it phone calling, marketing, open houses, networking, social media, text messaging, circle prospecting, door knocking, farming? Agents that are working on teams actually love this question because it lets them know exactly after all the team members and what they're submitting, what's working for their team and what's not. Where are they getting the most of their leads from? Is it from social media or is it at open houses? And depending on how the market is or like what shift we're going into, even though it may be changing a little bit, you might find that your answers vary at different times throughout the
Yeah,
year.
I just turned it on quick.
I was just saying.
Thank you, Margot. Bless you.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. Awesome. Is everyone you spoke with captured in your database? So if you do some cold calling and you're talking to some of these, these leads or potential prospects to buy or sell with you, you're gonna wanna make sure that pretty much, if not all of them, are gonna be in your database at some point, especially if you're having conversations with these people. Then it's gonna go into a list of questions. It's going to ask you, how many new appointments did you set for today? And then it breaks it up by buyers and sellers. Same thing with how many appointments did you attend today with the buyers and the sellers? How many new agreements did you get signed today? And how many contracts did you just write today? So some of the agreements could be the listing agreement or the buyer brokerage agreement if you choose to use it. You're able to keep track of that. I do know most of the teams, they do care about the contracts. How many contracts did you write for today? Buyers, sellers, and would you like to add any additional comments for your Rainmaker? Now, if you are working as a team and you do have specific comments that you want to give to the Rainmaker, whether it was about your day, or if the team is functioning in a way where maybe there's not a question on this already built-in email, which is not editable at this point, but what you can do is you can utilize this comment box for the Rainmaker. So if the Rainmaker wants you to submit in some other type of activity that you may be doing for the day, they could always log it right here. They have 500 characters to do so. And then finally, you're gonna just see that blue-green submit button and all the information gets tracked and recorded and then also sent to the Rainmaker to see the activity for the day. You're also going to notice that there is nothing on this email that is mandatory to fill out. So if you are a specific team, and I know that we talked about this a little bit ago, like if you wanted to use this email specifically for only some of the features to keep track of the activity, you're more than welcome to, because it's not going to hold you back from submitting this activity if you leave pieces of information out. So you can go ahead and click on submit. And it's automatically going to calculate based on the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Economic Model, what your calculated GCI is projected to be over the next 2-3 months. It's gonna give you an estimate. I know. For me, it put in based on like what I did, $1,125. But again, I left a lot of that information out. Just doing it for example purposes, of course, but you can even check out like how the team is doing if you're a Rainmaker. You got me, I'm on a 1-day streak because I just filled in my activity report, whereas other people who need to fill out the report are on the bench right now because they
My
haven't.
whole team looks like the Buccaneers. They're all on the bench.
You said you could go back to a date. How do you go back to a date again?
Yeah, so in order to go back to a date, what you really need to do is in your email. It's not gonna be on the homepage, because on the homepage you can only submit for that day. But if you need to go back and submit for a day previously, you're gonna have to go to the email that's assigned to that agent. And they could just go back, the subject title is start your day out fresh, and they can literally go back to it like a couple days later. Click on that email to submit the activity report, and then they could do it for that specific day. And if they didn't receive the email, just make sure you check they check their spam, because it's happened a couple of times, but the email does go out. Cool. Any other questions before we go to the next part? Awesome. So you're gonna notice on the homepage, now that I just submitted, It's going to say, update today's activity in your activity submissions form, which I just did. So all my activity is now located right here. You got to the hour sprints, the conversations, appointments set, appointments held, agreements, contracts written, and closings. The Rainmaker or the individual agent will be able to edit the agent specific activity. So let's just say you put in all the correct information, but you accidentally put in the wrong date. Either yourself or the Rainmaker can go back into it by clicking on edit activity next to the agent and fixing the information that was inputted incorrectly. Oh, we got somebody else coming in.
So to be able to do this, you had to, even as a single agent, I would have to go in and send an email to myself every morning at a certain time.
Well, it's not really you sending the email, it's really once you click the green toggle button in the settings, it automatically will go to your email itself. And it comes from Keller Williams, so it's saying like, start your day out fresh and get your activity report.
But because I've hit that green button,
Correct.
I'm going to get that.
Correct, and then in the
Okay.
settings, like down below, it gives you the toggle, well, if you're in a team, next to each team member to.
Just now from Sue.
What
She's
happened?
available to talk now. She's home.
That's too bad, maybe you're.
All right, thank you. Sandy, okay. Here we go. So if you are a solo agent, just make sure that the green toggle button is selected. And then based on whatever time you have, where it says send the initial daily reminder.
Okay, so I have to set that for it to
Correct.
happen. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
So I didn't fill anything out on there and I still clicked it and it says 1 day streak, so you don't even have to put any information on it.
Correct, because that's just calculating you just submitting the activity report. I mean, if that's the truth, I mean, if you, for that day, if you really
Look
just
how
did not
easy
do
it is to
anything.
get off the bench.
Yeah.
So I don't have to set a time for this to come because I've got it on green, I'm automatically going to get.
That is correct, but if you note it, like if you look at that setting too in that specific time, it already has like an example time there. And if you
Okay.
want it changed, you're just gonna have to change the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So it could, for right now, it could probably be going to you like at 2 in the morning and you won't even know. But we just have to check that setting for sure. So that way you're gonna get that email when you wanna get that email.
Not at 2.
Not at 2 in the morning, no. Anyone else have any other questions before we move on? Awesome. Okay, so you are gonna see here the team activity. These are just gonna be your numbers that you selected. You're gonna be able to see them. And then the Rainmaker has access to the leaderboard where they're gonna be able to see who's on the streak and then who's on the bench. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna see these and go into these numbers in a little bit more detail. And the way that we're gonna do that is we're gonna move on over into our command applet. It's called reports. Reports is the 4th applet from the bottom, and it has an icon that looks like a couple of bar charts or a bar graph. Oh, we got Tammy coming back in.
That's my team.
And okay, so what we got here is once you get to the reporting applet, you're going to see at the very top, you're going to see an option, which is a tab, it's called activity. And that's the one we're pretty much going to focus on for today.
I don't see that on the top of my
On the reports,
activity.
it just says activity.
Yeah.
Caleb, what we have to do is just make sure that her settings were saved too. I know we got Jim and we got Jackie.
You were doing another one.
I was.
I'm so.
Jim and Jackie.
Is that only on the Rainmaker side?
Correct. Oh, no. You should be able to see activity. If you're an individual team member, you should be able to at least see activity, which will only show like your activity though, but the Rainmaker is the only one that gets to see everybody's. And if you're a solo agent, you should be able to see activity as well.
So this is hard to do it.
Just let me know if you don't see it.
It's not there.
And you're under,
It's kind of under me, under the team.
I thought you were a rainmaker, too,
I can see everyone else's settings, I just don't have that
that activity.
activity.
I'm on the
just-
Gather Round team too, and I don't have activity on mine either.
Okay. And then you all have the green highlighted.
Yep, I just checked it again.
Okay. What about for the solo agents? Are you able to?
Yeah,
You got it? Okay.
I have activity.
Okay.
Hey Vincent, I don't wanna backtrack at all, but I do have a question, trying to rearrange the home screen panels.
Mhm.
Is there a way to make one that appears smaller, like a bigger tile?
Yeah, no,
I
so,
tried that too, and couldn't.
yeah, unfortunately, right now, that's not
It looks like you can only rearrange like the big tiles up
Under the
here
big
and the
tiles.
small tiles.
Correct.
down.
Yeah.
You can't make the small ones big?
Yeah, so the team activity is a 2-page.
Yeah.
But your activity is larger on the homepage.
So let's go back to the
Because
homepage.
Should we get to the right?
So for activity tracking, mine is just going to be, mine just shows one.
Oh,
So if you go back to the homepage and then scroll all the way down.
And the reason for that, the reason why it's long like that is because I don't have anything next to it.
I see,
Mhm.
okay, so if they add in an extra thing on their homepage, so that way, in the order, the activity tracker is the small box, but there's no big box next to it, it'll fill up the whole thing?
Correct. So like,
That's
let's,
the workaround?
yeah, let me just move and save and
Yeah,
apply.
let's see,
And now you're gonna see the activity tracking has just been moved to that one box.
okay.
Okay, hold on real quick. So I'm gonna go back to,
So you.
Okay. So you just can't have it at the top, because the top becomes too small.
Correct.
Got it. So that's why you have yours at the bottom.
Yeah, I have mine at the bottom because for just example purposes, it's fine like that. But if I was actually on a team, it would probably be at the top of my list.
Yeah, the top corner makes more sense, but again, like she was saying, it's just a square.
Yeah.
Can't
it's
see.
2 pages and
Yeah.
I like seeing it
You
as
like to
one
see it
page,
spread
so
out.
the bottom is fine.
Yeah.
But you know what's gonna be super helpful though, is when we get into that reports,
Yeah,
as the rainmaker, at least you're gonna be able to see all
Totally.
of that
absolutely.
in detail.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna like find out about the rainmaker, but they should have released that activity there. Or unless it hasn't been out yet, but every team member should be able to see activity there, and then it would just be for their own activity that they can see, but the rainmaker's view is gonna look like this. And the way that activity goes. The rainmaker is gonna be able to see the team activity. So you're gonna notice a couple of the icons. So every team member that is supposed to submit their activity tracking for that day, you're gonna see their little circles with a color around it, located in each box for each day. If the agent actually submitted in their activity tracking for the day, you're gonna notice that the picture isn't grayed out. Their color is more visible. And then for future days like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're gonna be able to see as the rainmaker who is scheduled to have to fill in the activity tracking for that week. You're gonna be able to compare, or the rainmaker will be able to see by day, by week, and by month, what the numbers are looking like. So, and I'm gonna explain to you what these numbers mean, and I'm gonna start out small and then get bigger. So, the best example that I'm gonna use for this, let me go back a couple of weeks. So that way we start from the beginning, and then we keep track of this as we go along. I'm gonna do the 29th. Okay,
Already, you've just eliminated about 4 spreadsheets that we keep track of.
really?
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Amazing.
I'm excited. On the 20th, so with the team activity, let's just say the first day that I submitted this activity tracking report was on Tuesday, November 29th, which was actually the first day that I beta tested this. You're gonna notice that when I submit my numbers, they get located right here, so the total activity. And this is really gonna be for the entire team that the rainmaker is gonna be able to see it for. The only thing is that I'm the only one that submitted the activity, so that's why you just see total activity here. Now, please note that these numbers are not realistic. I was just testing this out, so it's literally not possible, or it doesn't look realistic for me to work 1 hour and have 20 appointments and have 2 agreements and 2 contracts and 1 closing. It's just, but the numbers do work if you put it in correctly. I was just testing it and I was trying to make it look more realistic. But I just really wanted to see if it was gonna work, and it does, which I'm so happy about. Under conversations, the Rainmaker's gonna be able to see under lead generation activities, what is actually working. So this is gonna be just the one report the Rainmaker can pull. That's gonna show, and remember from the email when we went through it, what did you do to find these people? Was it open houses? Was it networking? Was it marketing? All of that from all the team members, it's gonna be located right here in one spot. So as a team, what's working best?
How did you click on that?
I clicked on it by clicking on lead generation activities right here.
I didn't have that, Shelley.
And you said, is that just for teams?
Is
or
that for,
That one's gonna be for
is
teams.
that
yeah.
day, month?
Yep, so you're in the reports applet, correct? And then you clicked on activity at the top and you don't see lead generation activities. Deb, did you fill in activity tracking at all? Because it's not gonna show up unless you at least filled in the email like once.
Got
Mhm.
it, okay.
Correct, yeah, because then that's when it'll start tracking the actual like leads
Okay.
based on the information that each agent gives to it. So this is really what you're going to see. So when you have more of your team members using the activity tracking, you're gonna be able to see as a team, what is working best. Is it coming from marketing? Is it coming from social media? Is it coming from calling or text messages? And then the Rainmaker will be able to see each individual team member's strategy. So if I select myself, which I can only select myself right now because I'm the only one that submitted it, you're gonna see lead generation activities and marketing.
Yes.
And it'll go into like more detail as you go along with the weeks, but that's just the lead generation activities and how you're gonna keep track of it. Down below, you're gonna be able to see everyone's individual activity based on the numbers that they submitted. So the best way to understand these numbers, all the numbers that you see next to my name on the left in black, those will always be the numbers that I submitted for that specific day. So my 1, my 6, my 20, 2, 2, and 1. The green or the color on the right-hand side is gonna be the comparison from the previous day or the previous week or the previous month, depending on what I have selected here. So if I go to Wednesday, November 30th, the second day that I filled out this activity report, you're gonna notice that the numbers change a little bit. You're gonna see the green numbers, you're gonna see the red numbers. To make it easy, we're gonna start with hours spent. So again, the numbers on the left in black are just the numbers that I submitted for that specific day. So on Wednesday, the second day that I submitted it, I worked 5 hours. But it's going to tell me that I'm up 4 hours because yesterday on the 29th, I worked only 1 hour. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll be able to do that for your conversations, appointments, agreements, contracts, closings, and you'll be able to see what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. So for example, in 2 days, I'm already down 8 appointments because yesterday I had 20 appointments, today I had 12 appointments. So something definitely happened, or it could just be like a fluke thing. Maybe I just had, I had to run a couple of errands that were personal and stuff, which are all comments that you can write to the Rainmaker. Especially so that way if they ever look back at the reports and they really go through the numbers, they'll be able to see how they can help you. And it really does keep everybody on the team accountable. And then also as a solo agent too, you're able to keep yourself accountable. So that way, like if you're supposed to meet, 3 closings a month, and this also kind of ties into like your goals because the MREA economic model, automatically will calculate your goals for 2023 inside of this system. And so with the activity tracking together, you can take those numbers and compare it to what your goals are actually supposed to be, because your goals will tell you how many leads, contacts, agreements won, closings that you're gonna need, and it'll keep track of your profit and everything. It'll let you know if you're falling behind, if you're on track, or if there's some more improvements that need to be made. So if you know that you're getting through like halfway through the month and you're keeping track of this activity, but you know that you're not meeting your contracts or your closings, that your goals say that you need to make for the month, then maybe it's time to adjust your strategy or meet with a productivity coach or talk to your team leader, because there's endless solutions and it's always good to catch it before it's too late. Because unless you're really keeping track of your activity, how do you really know if you are at where you really need to be for the year at the exact moment?
So I think I misunderstood. I was thinking you said an individual agent wouldn't see that. But you're saying we would get that information.
Okay, so that's the difference. So the individual agent who's on a team won't see this. A solo agent who's not on a
Yeah.
team will
Will.
see this, but
Okay.
it's just your activity.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were saying it wouldn't be there.
I know it can be a little bit confusing,
Gotcha.
and I'm gonna try to do my best between like the solo agent and the team. There's just like a lot more team functions with it. The solo agent, it's really you submit your activity and then you just see your numbers and then you can compare. The reason why I just use myself, I'm the only one that is submitting the activity because it helps a solo agent see the comparison between the 2 days just from one agent. Now, of course, as a rainmaker, you're gonna be able to see if you are on a large team or a bigger team, you're gonna be able to see each individual team member. And then you'll be able to, if you click on week and month, you're gonna notice how the numbers change and what the totals really are. So any comments that are sent to the rainmaker, they'll be able to read it. And again, this, especially for teams, this is really going to help you know, and you have the physical proof behind you that if, you know, there needs to be a coaching opportunity to one specific member on your team, you can catch it real quick. You'll be able to tell because the numbers don't lie. And as long as your team members are inputting the correct numbers of the work that they're actually doing, there should be no flaws and there really should be no reason why you're not meeting your goals.
Well, it's good for the individual aid, and also if you have a coach or if you have someone that's overseeing to help make sure you stay on track, you can pull that up and they can see right away where you need work with.
Absolutely, yes, sir. I think that activity tracking I mean, everybody is different. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this feature today is so that way I can show you all how it could help your business. By all means, it's not required and it's not mandatory for you to use it. But again, this is another feature inside of Command that you can see, because I all know like the bad taste that everyone had in their mouth when Command originally came out in 2019 and how really broken it was. Because when I started out as an agent in February of 2019, I was like, whoa. But over the years and with all the improvements that Command now has, not only when it comes to just activity tracking, but other team functions like lead routing, keeping track of your goals. So much more is coming, and just a little secret or like hush hush right now with family reunion coming around, they like to save all the secrets for that. And I'm pretty sure we're getting a brand new look to our website. So one that is gonna be more realistic, and when I say realistic, I mean like a website that people are actually gonna wanna go to and know how to navigate and not have to click on this hidden top right drop down menu just to get to some of your pages. I know actually too, if anybody runs into Renee, because we were talking about like her website a couple of times, and I know the RKW website is the way it is right now, but I know some of those more interactive features, I can't make any promises, but I just know something is coming during family reunion. Of course, with many other additional features and cool stuff that I'm excited to go to. And then what I'm gonna be doing for the month of March is I'm gonna be hosting classes in each market center to take back what I learned about all the technology, everything new that's coming. I think I'm pretty much like already planning on my schedules. There's 3 good technology classes, one for each breakout session. And then I think there's either 2 or 3 that lead into like some social media stuff too, and the technology. So I'm gonna be really, really excited about that. So yeah, so with activity tracking, team or solo, you can sort by the month, you can sort by the week, you can always go back and always look back at whatever particular month or time that you need to. So that way, if you wanted to compare what your team is doing this year compared to last year, and they were doing the activity tracking, the goal is always to be better. So this could be a good starting point, especially with 2023 just starting. start the year out fresh by keeping track of well, giving yourself a little bit more accountability than maybe that you've had before. Just give it a try, and then even if maybe you might have more questions about activity tracking, or maybe you're not quite sure if it really is gonna work out for your team. Maybe just give it like a 30-day trial run just to see like how really efficiently it is, because whenever something is introduced to, whether it's a team or a solo agent and it's new, it takes a little bit of time to get used to, just like processes. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but eventually, maybe when you actually do it, that's when you're really gonna be able to see the pros or maybe some of the cons that they may have not have thought of before. So whether you experience any pros or cons with the activity tracking, if you choose to use it, I wanna hear about all of it, because that's gonna help me relate information back to the region and then also to Donnie and everyone about like what improvements the agents want to see, because that's what it's really all about, is benefiting your business to the best of what tools we can give you. So I'm really excited.
So as a single agent, you're really not going to be sending many of those emails to yourself, are you?
Yeah, no, most of the time.
It's mostly gonna be teams that are setting up emails to their team members, right?
Correct. The email will still go to your email, but what most solo agents do that use the activity reporting is they'll just go to their homepage of Command and just submit it. Or it's like down here.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna like edit this back to how I had it before, because you are right, Sarah, having 2 pages is a lot easier to see.
Yeah.
So. Also too, Rainmaker, based on what you saw from the reporting applet, they could change it from today or from this week. They'll be able to see everybody's stats individually. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And then you'll be able to see each individual agent's, GCI, and if that's something you wanted to keep track of too, to make sure that that's happening, by all means. But everything is pretty much explained inside of Command. Really, a lot of these systems and tools are operated around the MREA economic model, and Command has been getting better and better each day. So I think that it is fully capable of, large teams to function out of it. It really just depends on having those conversations about how you want it to work, or like what's gonna work best for your team, or what features you do or do not want to use. So I know I still have like 10 minutes left, but I mean, that's pretty much like the overview of really just the activity tracking. Anyone have any more questions?
So,
Definitely recommend to, try it out for a little bit and then see how it's going.
this is not related, but I'm looking at reports on database overview.
Mhm.
And it's showing, I checked on the compare button for agents in my market center,
Mhm.
and it comes up with 0%.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
So just like database health and just like goal setting, when you can compare to other agents in your market center or in the company, a real reason and a big thing that came up was that the numbers are skewed, it doesn't work, but that's not the case. The problem is that based on the algorithm, the way that the system calculates either your database health or your goals is based on the information that you're inputting, whether for the goals it's in opportunities or for database health in the contact card. So the way that it's calculated specifically is phone number, email, address, and neighborhood all have specific percentage points,
Right.
like 20% each. And then you have home anniversary, birthdays, and things like that. Now, there are a lot of agents, and I would just have to really find out from the agents who's actually using Command with their database and who still is, but in all honesty, it really is just the comparison just to see if,
But why would we show 0%?
yeah, because there's gotta be like some team member, or not team members, but there's gotta be
Well, it's not showing anything for me either.
agents. Let me just
No.
test it out online,
So
so,
it looks like you don't have any data.
No, I got 60.69% of my team compared to 54.1% of agents in my market center. So I have a comparison, but you have zero.
I have zero, and I have, like, in my thing, I look in and I can see like each individual person, where that percentage is, but when I go down to,
Reports. And then compare. Yeah, you got it.
it wasn't there a second ago. No, I clicked out of it and went back and it showed up.
It's like that.
It's like you can take your car in, making that noise, and it makes no noise. Yeah, no, it actually said zero a second ago.
No, it's okay. I appreciate it, Jackie, but you are right. I mean, I know that there's lots of agents in here that are using the database, but for it to be like truly accurate though, if you really wanted to compare, all the agents should be putting in as much information as they possibly can to make it the most competitive if you really wanted to get a true analysis. If not, just stick to what the information that you have. So like if you are on a certain percentage, like if, for example, I'm on 60.69, but that's just because that's Daytona staff contacts, which we really just use for the PC program. But phone number, email, address, and neighborhoods, I believe are 20% each, and then home anniversary, birthday, social media, that constitutes for 5% each. And then there's like a couple of others, I can't remember off the top of my head, but if I saw it, I'd be able to tell you.
I don't understand, on the legend, it says like 0 to 49% is red and it says me, and then it says 50 to 100% green, me, and then the comparison, but I don't see
Yeah.
any green. Oh, I do see.
Yeah, and I wouldn't
Percentage
work.
reached out in the last 0 to 30 days.
Mhm,
So that's just if you're not keeping track of.
Correct.
Okay.
and then you can actually export these reports too, so like if you go, were you in the reports or were you in the dashboard?
Housing reports.
Yep, so if you just stay in reports, you will be able, let me go back to the personal account. You'll be able to pull your opportunities reports. Those are gonna become more accurate soon based off the transmittal. The goals reports, database report. Yeah, so we got your health score, you got your new contacts that you're adding. So this is actually something that if big teams wanted to utilize. Also can you just, so like, if your team members are inputting, let's just say. X amount of contacts that they're saying, yes, everybody they spoke to is in their database. You could always pull a report, the team members report, and you can actually see if those numbers reflect. Especially if they are using command to keep track of all that information. And then you'll be able to see their total activities, their total smart plans, total emails, texts. I mean, everything is just getting reported these days, so I think it's a good thing. The more that you have, the better. Addresses. Okay, yeah, so birthdays, home anniversaries, neighborhoods. Emails are so big. New contacts, the contacts that you had in the last
So
30 days.
yeah, mine has the database overview and then it goes to database health.
So you see database overview here.
Right. But
And then database health, I think, is on the dashboard, right?
okay, where were you?
Oh, I went to the dashboard to see the breakdown of the database health. So
Right.
mine says 69.
Right.
What it
And
is.
then where did you go to get to the activities that reports? Okay, got it.
In reports, yeah. So
Yeah,
then
okay.
down to the left would be the activities, and then on the right would be your actual, like, what percent you have recorded for like phone numbers, emails. That same database health score percentage will be located on the report too. So I have 68.18%.
I'm trying to find that page.
Oh, you know what it is because you're operating out of the team. I was just in the solo
Oh,
agent
got
for
it.
just a second.
Okay.
So yours is gonna look like this. That's like the nicest thing, solo
Thank
agents
you.
and teams.
Okay, great.
So you're gonna be able to pull for all team members if you wanted to, or
Yeah.
specific agents.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna keep it as all team members. And then you got your contact report, you got your buyer opportunity, you got your contacts down here. So pretty much you're gonna be able to see, if you're just looking at the team as a whole, any new, contacts, notes, emails, Twilio, Directivity, I would switch it to probably just an individual team member, just as an example.
Yeah.
And that's where you see like the activities and the leads and their database health score. So mine is like 58% because I probably just have phone numbers and emails.
Okay.
But then you get to see like all the stats for each of your individual team members.
You can see like who all of their leads are.
Mhm.
Interesting, it's not pulling any.
It's not pulling anything.
And I know that they have people in here.
They got people in there.
They got people in.
Now, are you looking at total leads or new leads?
Where,
So on the report, it's got the new leads here and then the total leads. And really where that's gonna come from,
do you have to click on one or the other? I'm just looking at it.
anything that's new is only gonna be from the past 30 days. So I'd love to do like a comparison with one of your team members. The total leads though, those are gonna be like the total amount of leads that, like from lead routing, for example, like if we had a route set up for maybe Facebook lead campaigns, or if there's from another CRM system that we connected using Zapier, or anything that detects or goes automatically into command, considered a lead. Anything that is assigned from the lead pool would be a lead, or a total lead that they had. And that will get calculated in here. I just gotta really see exactly like how they're putting in the leads, because remember, when you put in a contact into command, there's that box that says mark as a lead, and not everybody really does that. And then I think we talked about this too. when we-
Doing that.
Exactly, and that's
So then
probably
it's not gonna show up here?
correct, yeah, and that's only from like the leads to contacts. So I remember when we had the conversation, it's just gonna be better to just focus on the contacts. So converting the contacts to agreements to other
Right,
contracts,
right.
that's gonna be the part that's most important. That's why when we talk with your team, using the activity tracking to keep track of the leads and the contacts, everyone that's getting put in there is gonna be and then take goal setting or the goal tracker and take it from there to keep track of everything.
Okay, so this page won't relate to us at all then?
Right, exactly, but you will be able to, from the activity tracking, keep track of like how many leads they're actually inputting into their database, and if you wanna put into the Rainmaker comments who those people are, that's like the best way to track it, which is, and I know we probably still have like more conversations to go through.
Yeah.
I know. We were just like, we got through like, we were just hitting the tip of the
Yeah,
iceberg.
Totally get it.
But yeah, as we go through it, I do know for a fact, there's gonna be a report that we could show you that will keep track of everything that you're looking for. Cause I remember, yeah, we talked about that, but we had like the 2.5 hour
We went
meeting.
through lots of scenarios.
Yeah.
Lots of scenarios.
Definitely, absolutely, and that's what we're here for, is to
Thank you.
help. So if you all want to book an appointment, if you're already on a team, or if you plan on being on a team, or if you just need, that extra assistance, or just wanna have the conversations to get through everything, by all means, because the more you understand now, the more it's gonna help, because command is just gonna keep on evolving and evolving, so that way. But I think it's at a good place now where it's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks. We've been,
absolutely, thank you, Jackie.
we've been big believers since we got here, so
I am so
we will be here
excited.
and, the inner child, like the inner. It works, it really, really works.
No, I am super excited, and what I'm gonna do is, unless anybody on Zoom has any questions, I will upload this recording right now to the Keller Williams Atlantic Partners Group class recordings, which you can find on the Agent Hub. So if you're from the South Side office, you're gonna go to the South Side website in particular. And you're gonna see an Agent Hub tab at the very top. The Agent Hub tab, the password to log in is gonna be this Market Center number, which I believe is 955. And then you'll be able to scroll down to the KWAP class recordings. So I'm gonna click on here. Maybe I should share my screen so that way you all see it too. Beautiful. Agent Hub located right up here. And it looks like you are kwjacksouthside.com. Agent Hub, Southside Agents, 955 password, and we got KWAP recorded classes located right here. And this is where you're gonna see the playlist for each class, so I'm gonna upload this to the Southside playlist. And then, of course, if you wanna see any of my other tech classes that I've done from any of the other market centers, you do have access to that as well. So, thank you all so much, unless any of you have any questions. Great, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm gonna get this recording uploaded right away. All right.